please.
You're going in circles, though.
I'm not
How
going in
about you be
circles.
quiet
Can
and
I finish,
listen?
please?
How about
If you can't pick it up, just leave it where it's at. So, as I'm saying, when you're talking about these dimensional aspects, we are three-dimensional beings. We have well-being over the second dimension and first dimension. We can utilize the first dimension and second dimension to create all type of three-dimensional things. That's our power. That's our universal power as co-creators, to be able to take the first dimension and second dimension and craft new things with this third dimension. But guess what? We also got another creative power to utilize the fourth dimension of thought, this thought principle, to create things in the physical. Now, not all things that are in that fourth dimension are fathomable here, but they are. They show up as three-dimensional patterns.
Now,
And one
scores, what you
object,
doing,
I'm gonna
bro?
land my
so?
Hurry the
plane
My
fuck
here.
question,
up,
Man,
bro.
I'm
right?
gonna
Like,
He's
land
what
my
you
repeating
plane
doing?
here.
himself in
I'm gonna
different
land my
ways.
plane
I
here.
Nigga,
heard
you
what
ain't
he
gonna
said.
never stop the fucking talking.
He's
Damn,
repeating
y'all
himself
just
Y'all have
in
no
different ways a
patience.
thousand
Goddamn,
times.
Look,
where's the
bro, you
patience?
just going on and on and on and
next
on and
person
Yo,
could
on.
be
this is
long-winded and
so
all
far
that
off
shit. Y'all
topic.
clear
It's so
space for
far
them
off
to
Wow.
talk.
topic.
Y'all clear space for them to
No,
interrupt
nigga,
and
we done
just
let you
talk
talk
over
all
people.
motherfucking day,
That
nigga.
shit
Stop
is
all that
weird,
crying and
bro.
shit. Nigga,
That's
you
the
Okay,
reason
your
why I
so
don't
ass
be on
is
this
layman's
Well,
app like
terms.
that,
well,
bro.
Okay,
well,
scores.
well.
Let
First
me
of all,
ask you a question. Are you
hold on,
trying to
Sherry,
say
because
with me being
second
in my
ago,
three-dimensional
Why you
body
Sherry,
even
that
hold
I
asking
on,
cannot
me a
see a
question?
tesseract?
Why
Sherry,
I'm
even
hold
asking
asking
on.
me
you
a
a question
question? Why
because
even
I
Because
want
asking
to
me a
know. You
question?
said a
Because I'm going to
tesseract
start to
as an
talk about the
example.
question.
You said
Yeah,
a
we
being
can get
tesseract
a
into
as an
second
it.
ago.
We can
Oh
example,
just
my
move
right?
on.
God,
Let's
this
move
bitch don't
on.
shut up.
Look, y'all want to ask me
First of all,
questions
I ain't
after
no bitch,
just
and you need to
rudely
watch your
interrupting
tongue.
me, and now I'm being muted because I'm saying you asking me a
Yeah,
question
because you want
while
to shut the
after
fuck
rudely
up. Stop
interrupting me. I
talking,
was
bro,
making
and
a
let somebody
point.
else catch the flow.
Because you
You want
made the
somebody else
point
to
of the
catch the flow, but
tesseract,
somebody about
right?
to.
You made the
I think a
point of the
second ago you said
tesseract
that I
that it's a
didn't, so he was actually
four-dimensional,
explaining
that
it
it's
for
a
you.
four-dimensional.
Can I put it
All
in
right,
layman's
Cherry,
and what
terms?
Cherry,
I'm
don't
trying
take
to
us down
say
that
is
road
with
with
the
this guy.
visual eyes. All I'm saying is with the visual eye, right? When you know how to work with optical illusions, right? A two-dimensional seeing person that is living in a three-dimensional world can definitely see a tesseract. Okay, it's at which angles you're looking at it from your perception. Now if it was in quantum physics and it was floating before you, you could still clearly see it as a four-dimensional objects. There are plenty of things that are three and four-dimensional objects at one time: cylinders, balls, triangles. These are the things that are making me confused because I have two eyeballs and God gave you two so you could see better. He gave you two ears so you can listen better. And for me, it was running around in echo chambers that got me confused. Now, if they made a tesseract and you know the definition of a tesseract, right? And then they draw you the view of what a tesseract looks like. In your two-dimensional eyes, you are looking at that tesseract in a four-dimensional view. So you can't say that everyone in this plane, okay, is looking and viewing the world from a two-dimensional zone. Okay,
Yes, you
maybe it's
can. Yes, you
just
can.
some. No, you cannot. Speak for
Yeah, you
yourself,
can.
not others.
So Sherry, look, I'm gonna try to keep calm in saying this.
Yeah, because she's a
Look,
little confused. Overall,
what I was explaining, if you just take a moment and not be so quick to respond and listen, just listen.
just get to it, bro. Get to
What
Yeah,
it.
I'm
I
gonna
am
listen
Get to
to
the
you a
saying,
point.
thousand times. I don't need you to do all that to
oh
get to
my
the point. I'm
God,
grown. Go ahead.
You're
I can't
overcomplicating.
get to the point
You're
because
Just
as
get
I'm
straight.
trying to
Just
get
get
to the
overcomplicating.
straight to it,
point,
bro. Get straight
I'm
to
You're
it.
interrupted
you're
every
trying to
single time.
philosophize this
Nah,
Every
you don't get the
time.
mathematical
format,
No
Just
matter
bro.
speak
reality.
in
what topic
layman's
it is
terms.
that I'm
Since you
on
think
this
we're
app
all so
talking
beneath
about,
your
Okay,
knowledge,
I'm
speak
layman's
in layman
interrupted.
terms
terms.
is first dimension is length, second dimension is length and height, third is length, height, and width or depth. That's mathematically, that's how dimensions work. Okay. We see 2D. So if we were to somehow end up in the fourth dimension, we would be able to look at an object and see it from every angle at the same time. Right? You would also, they also say you would like see sound and hear light. But we don't live in the fourth dimension. We live in the third. So that's why we have depth, we are length, height, and width, right? But we can only see length and height at one time. We can't see it from the standpoint of what something 3D actually is. We can't see it because I don't know how to explain that part, but yeah,
Right. So
in
so
layman's terms.
saved. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to explain it. So if I could please just so graciously explain this
Scores,
to you
no. Scores,
guys.
you gotta keep this shit quick,
Nah,
homeboy.
bro.
Please let
So
him
Gotta
go. Just
get
let
back
him
on
go.
No,
topic.
Sarah, shut the fuck up.
Nigga, he didn't. You didn't understand what I said, so at
Bro,
least
he
Facts,
been
understand
like
where
talking
he's
for
man.
the
coming
longest,
from.
bro. Knock
Please
it
don't
off.
do that.
I'm bringing
No,
substance.
you
I'm
trying
bringing
not to
substance and
understand.
intellect to the
She
stage, bro.
kinda, she
I'm
kinda,
not
Nah,
out
she
here
bro,
kinda,
on
she
really
Vinny
kinda
not.
Craig shit.
introduced
I'm
it,
not
but
arguing
she
with
introduced
nobody.
topic
I'm
that
not
brought him into the
trying to cause an
conversation. I
argument.
respect.
I'm bringing intellect, bro. And if you don't like intellect, then let me know now.
All right, so
You're
mute up and
trying
let
your
someone
best.
else get a fresh theory in.
Yeah, I got. Can I rap for 2 seconds?
Okay, can
I
I?
can't.
Yo, can
The
I?
hostility is crazy.
I
Yeah,
wanna.
come here.
I want to add something to the NASA going back to the moon. I already gave my view to the Earth issue, so I'm just trying to see if anybody has a little more information pertaining to NASA going back to the moon. What year are they planning on making this trip, and what are they going to be using to do it?
Augmented reality,
CGI,
some basic green screening harnesses.
Oh, so y'all
artificial
saying
intelligence.
Hollywood. They're gonna use magic in Hollywood to go
oh
there.
okay, so
Right, you
y'all
know they
saying
don't upscale their studios now. You know they
okay,
top of the
so
line now.
okay, so
What's
you're
What's
saying
funny is when people throw out theories, and when you throw out a theory, like what Scores was explaining to us in a from a two-dimensional perspective, and you don't have a two-dimensional person to actually verify that perspective, then it's just a theory and it doesn't make it fact.
We all
That
are
ain't
that
that ain't
though.
that don't mean two
We all
dimensional. You
can
know that, right?
hold on, face, because we all can speak for that theory because we all have eyes and we all can see one face of everything. Like if I'm looking at a tree right now and I can only see one surface of this tree. What gives it depth? What he was talking about the third dimension and
That
shit,
must
right? You can only see one face, one surface. It takes more than one perspective to. It takes more than one perspective or one dimension to see the whole 3D perspective of an object. Basically, you can only see one face,
Right.
which is why he
But a
kept saying
round
2D.
ball, I can see all the sides of a round ball,
But
man,
what's
right?
giving it
You
depth,
can.
though?
You
What's
can.
giving it
Bro.
depth,
You
though?
you can see all sides. That's what she's saying though. Like, but I won't gotta break off into no basic math shit. Like that was basic math. 2D,
thank you, Faith.
3D. It's like you looking at the face of some shit. Okay, you can't see all that shape, but you can see the face of it. We learned what faces was. That's how we got into the circle versus prism. But what you're talking about
And
with
depending on the
the
angle you're looking at,
Damn.
you can see that
you
there's
can
depth.
see that, yeah, you can see that there's depth. You can, again, you can perceive depth. That's literally what it's called, perception of depth. So if you
Yeah,
have
depth
perception,
perception.
if you have, okay, depth perception,
Oh,
if you
sorry,
have
no.
if you have depth perception, excuse me, depth perception, then you're able to see, okay, this appears to be spherical or a prism of a shape, and then what you can do is go and touch that shape, move it around, and account for its volume. You feel me? And then you can say, okay, this is. But still, even still, if you're looking at a flat piece of paper, even if you can't account for the volume, it still is accountable. That's It's just that you
Hey,
are able
Faith.
to see
Hey,
it
Hey,
all
look,
at
Faith.
look, look,
once.
look, look,
It's
Faye.
like drawing
So
a
due
30.
to depth perception and me being an
Oh my
artist,
god.
me being an artist, knowing how to make something that's flat look like it's floating, make it look like you can reach out and touch it.
Exactly.
All of that comes out of
Fresh.
shadows. All of that is
That's
coming from.
perception.
I know. Listen to what I'm saying. Depth perception is in the dark areas. That's what makes depth
Exactly.
black.
Exactly.
So with that being said, when you see a person, all those things that you're seeing are shadows. It's a whole bunch of shadows that's bouncing, that's allowing you to make up this fucking person's face.
Light. It would be light though. More so on
Light
the light.
source. It's called light source.
Right. Well, so
So
what's the
Yeah.
point
therefore,
here?
so therefore, if shit is flat and you're looking at it from a perspective in which you're getting shadows, then yes, it's gonna seem like it's three dimensional to you.
Right. So what do you
Yeah.
do?
So I wait, hold on, because I gave that example earlier. It's a perfect. Think like a you draw a 3D cube. You know what I mean?
Is
It's
that
the
me?
same.
No, Sarah, you in the
I
Matrix.
just said that.
Oh my
I
bad. If you can hear me, go
swear.
ahead. I said this earlier. I'm saying like a couple hours ago, but go off.
I'm just trying to figure out what the point is
No,
with
we can
that
hear
though,
you now.
because it's still
Yeah, that was it for me.
if you're looking at the moon, you can chart curvature, you can perceive depth. People can say it's flat. You can say that. Can you prove it? So this is what I'm saying. Maybe the person can't prove that's telling you that the moon is spherical, that is spherical. But to tell them that it isn't, or to tell them that it's a disc, for the people who do that, it's like you can't prove that it's a flat disc. What we can do is we can observe craters. We know that there's some sort of marking on whatever we're looking at. We can observe patterns in the craters. We can observe certain points where there seems to be some sort of
And it's
curvature.
always on the same side, correct face?
Right, and they have a scientific explanation for that.
And
You
we
feel me?
always in the sky, and we can't talk about the earth at all. We just talking about the sky.
Well, have phase. Are they going back to the moon? Did they go to the moon? What do you think about that?
They've
The
been on the
so-called
moon.
NASA.
Here's what I think about it. That they've been on the moon, and that the people have been watching a technological display, and that technological display has to be controlled and contained. That they're showing you rocket ships and different things that they're using. It's really primitive science. It's really primitive. I really learned that term not too long ago. Primitive. It's a joke in the scientific community that technology of rocket ships is ancient as fuck, but they came out as if it was something that they finally just discovered. All the while they were working on Vril, all the while they were working on secret science, all the while they were tapping into anti-gravity vehicles, all these different things, and they had technologies that was built based off of that. But immediately, all right, immediately during the construction of these things and the awareness of these things that was coming to the fruition, quantum stealth technology, all these different things you hear about Philadelphia, they closed all of that up. And they said, nah, hell nah. Give these people the rocket ship shit. Let them see that little rocket go up. Let that booster drop off. People going to figure that out. Eventually, they're going to throw themselves into a paradox of, see, they can't get back off of the moon, or see, rockets can't get up there, or the moon ain't in our atmosphere. And then all these sciences that they coming up
But
with.
that's not logical, though, phase.
That is
What's
not
not
logical.
what's not
That is
logical?
logical.
What
It's
is
not
not
logical. It's
logical?
not logical.
I mean, because look at this. Look at this.
Ink
I
is
mean,
talking
with
like
the
I want to hear
illumination
what
of the
he's
moon.
saying isn't logical. I want to hear what Ink was saying isn't logical.
It's not logical to say I'm about to show them that we do and get to the moon with this rocket ship, with this spaceship attaching the XYZ, for them to believe the total opposite. I'm
No,
confused.
okay. So again, that's
Hold
not
on.
that you
Hey,
believe
can
the
I
total
repeat it,
opposite.
phase?
Here's
Can
what
I
I'm
repeat
saying,
what you
right?
said to see if you understand it? Can I repeat what you said? You sound. It seems like you're saying that they had this more advanced technology, and they were like, we're
Right.
just going to keep it at the rocket level and pretend like
Okay.
we're going to the moon, or maybe go to the moon because we don't want the people to be more advanced with this anti
Right.
gravity
Or aware,
technology. And
exactly.
yeah,
Or
okay.
aware of this. So here's what I'm saying. I'm not
We'll
telling
put
y'all to
this for
believe
entertainment
anything that
purposes.
um. It's for containing your mentality. It's like it's for you really to be able to think that these people don't have presence on all of these planets. It's for you to think that these people literally can't get somewhere that's not that damn far away. It's for
Hold
you to
on.
think that they have
So
Let him
my
finish.
question is,
I,
Finish. Let him
I,
why is there
finish,
ever no, wait a minute, you guys, why is there ever no legitimate footage of this information? Because not for
Damn,
nothing, it
bro.
was
like
Neil
You gonna
Armstrong.
stop him to
Wait a
ask a
minute.
This together in the water. It's oval. So we live on an oval plane. And then underneath us is a rock, a honeycomb rock. There you go.
A honeycomb block.
so
Wow.
why did we never make
Specific.
that a part of our language though?
Say that again.
Why didn't we like put that in our language? Like instead of saying around, why don't we why
Live. And see, the thing
hmm.
is, the one with the little girl that everyone talks about, that was live from NASA. That was live on an extra excursion for kids to explore the new dinosaur event that they had brought one time to NASA. Okay. And this is when a lot of kids were able to get a couple of minutes to ask him a question. Okay. And this little girl was the one that asked the brightest question of all. And this is why that specific feed went live. But make no mistake,
what was the
there are
question that
over
was
eight. Wait a
asked?
minute. When will we go back to the moon? Was the exact question the little girl asked.
And
And
what did he
words
respond?
No,
were,
she said,
his
"Why
words
haven't we
were,
gone back?"
why haven't we gone back to the moon? Correct. I'm not, forgive me, I'm not
It's straight.
directly on exact word
I'm
for
talking
word.
to you. I'm just like, what was his
Yes.
response?
His response was, well, in order to do a thing or go back to something, you have to first know why it happened. The truth is, we didn't. Those were his exact words.
He
But
said the truth
that
is
is
we
not the
didn't.
wait.
Real
The
quick.
truth is we didn't.
Okay, we
We
didn't what?
did not.
We hold
Wait,
on.
we did
Hey,
not
listen.
go.
Okay, listen. Can you repeat that one more time for me? What he said?
He said, in order
Link
to
up
go
top.
back to something, you would first have to know why you went. But the truth is, we didn't.
Okay, so real quick.
Wait, pause, because I didn't need a response. I
I
didn't
know
need a
you didn't,
response.
and I didn't need to be cut
Oh,
off.
but wait
But
a
we
minute.
having this conversation
But you
because I
paused,
was.
so I thought you were finished. My bad.
It's cool. We can have it back and forth, but like let's not dictate who can. You feel me? Like, okay, so when he said that, the truth is we didn't. Is it possible that he was saying we didn't know why the fuck we went up there?
The
No,
truth
bro.
is,
That,
wait a
that
minute.
ain't what
Hold
we
on.
trying to
Pause
do.
for a second. I got your
I
That's
question.
like when
I
that's
people
got your
tell
that's
me
too
answer.
ain't
much.
Can
shit ain't
somebody
The
play the
possible.
truth is,
video?
Yeah, that's too
the
much.
truth is, yeah,
Can
you can
somebody
play the
play the
video, and I
video?
actually do have the archive. Give me a second. Let me go to
I
my
put it up top.
And look,
They're not
before you
gonna
do that,
believe
Cherry,
it because
Finish at the top.
But wait a
they
before
minute.
ain't
she
gonna
do
believe
Pause.
it.
that,
They
Pause
ain't
real
you
quick
can
because you
finish.
asked
You
me
can
a
finish.
question
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
Before you do that, but you can
Yeah.
finish what you was
they ain't gonna
building.
believe it because it
You can,
don't
and
fit
then
their
we can come
Okay.
back around. I'm not
What
you,
I was
bro. I
gonna
want to
say
have a
is,
conversation with her. Yeah,
man.
finish what you
what
was
I was gonna
Just
developing
like
before
say
you
is,
that,
said, just like you agree with Scores,
bro. I want to hear
in
her,
a
bro.
room full of people, and when I told Scores get the mic with him and such time, you like, bro, we in a room full of people, so stick to that.
Yeah, I want to hear her, bro. Go ahead, Sister
is it
Cherry.
all y'all? I just want to make sure the mods is okay with me. Just I don't want to disrespect the
Play it, play it,
stage.
play it, play it.
No, I'm saying I
All
want to
right,
hear what she was saying before she.
they have it in the chat, but I wanted to answer what he said. My thing was, all right, before she the young lady plays it, I just wanted to say he's already stated, and this is in his prime, about like I think it was about 5 years after his last trip, because he's went supposedly 3 times. Okay. He felt really bad because his one of his elders were passing away, and he felt like they asked him a question on their deathbed. It just so happened that when they asked them this question, they were being recorded live, because I guess this person and his family was a big whoever in the world. And he specifically answered to his loved one in detail why they didn't go, what footage they did to pull it off to the national the public, what also other what do you call it, governments also approved this message. They all were running for the race because there was a huge secret to hide. That secret in itself was not anything about the goddamn moon. It was about the ice walls in Antarctica that Admiral Byrd had found. He said and gave the exact location in which you could find the footage in which they put the pieces together for every single portion of the said trip to Mars, the very first one. Okay. In it, okay, there's another person who I guess gets this thing, and I've seen it myself. The picture of the earth that you seen was literally taped to the wall. They mapped it out from the beginning to the end. The shit is like 3 hours. Let me go in my office real quick, you guys, because the thing is, we have to stop learning the poor behavior, because this poor behavior keeps us in a lockstep method. That lockstep method is as United States legislation, believe it or not. And when you get into detail the way that I get into detail, because I don't trust the lying tongue of those men and women who propagate against the people. And I love on my people. I don't care what you look like, because we're all being duped. It's certain things that you need to know how to read between the line. All these whistleblowers and people coming from these magnificent positions of life saying that they're whistleblowers, and yes, they may have worked for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and they was involved in it, but guess what, at some time and point, especially when you facing death, and I know a lot about this because I do grieving counselors for all of my clients that are on their deathbed. I hold hands and all that good shit. I'm gonna tell you, when people are getting sick and they think that they'll never have anyone else to remember them by, the one thing that a lot of people do is want to confess things that are giving them grief over their lifetime. And for some of these people, like Buzz Aldrin and even Neil Armstrong before his demise, right? They all were trying to say something. And this is one man who was born in 1930, and he's still living in the flesh. And he's now out, as old as he is, trying to still put it out there. All right. Two
Can
and
I
a
give
half
the Neil
weeks ago,
Armstrong quote?
you had the young man from NASA quit his job and go chain himself to one of the fucking biggest fucking banks over there in Chicago from NASA, $450,000 a year job to fucking tell the world a secret that NASA is holding against the people, and it's a crime against humanity. He's not the only person that has said this shit. Edward Snowden mentioned all of the shit that we've seen, from COVID to the economy to social credit scores to them making another trip back to the moon to all these forms of ascension and multi-humanism and all this shit. Plenty of people have told us before, right? But we write them off because the conspiracy theorists of the term that was given to them by the very people who labeled the term conspiracy theorists. Don't you know that anyone telling against the agenda, they're gonna, I don't care how accoladed you are, once you get a moral compass, they're gonna strike you down at every beck and will that they can. And if you formulate a group, they will demise each and every one of you while making the public believe that what they're doing to you is for our benefit, when it will not
Got you.
be.
I
We
got a
have to
question for you.
unlearn the behavior.
I got a question for you. What is, to your knowledge, it's two-part question. What is, to your knowledge, this agenda that you speak of? And what also, to your knowledge, is this secret that NASA was withholding from the people?
Well, the agenda is fucking public information. It's global depopulation. That's the agenda. And you want resources, government documents. NSSM 200. That's called the Kissinger Report. The follow-up report to that is the Rockefeller Report. It's called Scenarios for the Future of Technology. I'm sorry, for the future of science and technology. Those were both made United States legislation in 1974 and have not been amended or brought up into discussion in the Senate, in the legislation, in the assembly, or on no fucking judicial floor in the United States since they have come underneath legislation. You know, a lot of people talk about the lockstep method, and I think I've even heard you once before in another room speak to that term yourself. But most people don't know that that lockstep method and that keyhole method, that keyhole doc method, all of that comes out of the Rockefeller report,
Right.
scenarios
I
for
never
science and
personally spoke on that at all. So, with my second part
well,
of that
maybe I
question,
heard we was
no, yeah, we good.
go
We
ahead.
straight. So, my second part of that question was, what is, just to be clear, I don't understand how them faking the moon would correlate with the agenda to, like, commit
She spoke about
gradual
Admiral Byrd and the ice
genocide.
wall when she
I,
brought up NASA
I
I'm,
think
originally.
you wasn't in the room earlier
yeah,
overnight.
I wasn't finished with the question. I don't know how people responded, but well, I'm not. It's a statement. The statement is, I'm not sure how that correlates. They're going to the moon or faking the moon landing, whichever one people want to believe, and global depopulation. I don't see how that. Maybe we can double back around to that. But the second part of that question is, what is the secret that NASA, this secret that they need to have a globe Earth model, the secret that they have to act like this is that, or these sciences exist and they don't exist? What is the secret that NASA, because we only talking about one government agency, is withholding from the people?
No, you're not talking about
Free
one
energy.
government agency.
Right.
You're
No,
talking
when people
about
say
all. Wait a
NASA,
minute.
that
Wait.
is,
Hold up. Wait,
when
because
people
this
say
is my
NASA, that
answer.
is
Wait a
one.
minute. This is my
That's what I'm.
answer.
You right. You
I
okay?
hate
Make
when
sure
people
you
try to control
got
my
you. Make sure
answer.
you give me the answer though, since we doing it like that. Make sure
Okay.
you
Bro,
give me an
And
answer.
chill.
what and what I wanted to let you know, I don't want to rehash for anyone in the room who wanted to move on, because that's what we were really trying to do before these questions started. I did talk about Admiral Byrd and his findings, his information in his journals, his connection with August Picard and Jacques Picard. I did also talk about, and I think Ink even dropped some jewels and a couple of other people in the room about the information that these three men came and calculated together. After that, that was the rush to get to space. After that, there was the treaties for the Atlantic Treaty. I mean the Antarctic Treaty, which means none of us can travel there on our extra leisure. I can't just fucking plan a trip to Antarctica. Can you? Without
Yes.
Yes, you
government
can. You can
approval,
just go
without a
there if you
permit.
want to. That's what they say. I know it's
Without a
possible.
wait to do what I want on my vacation for my trip, or do I have to be itinerized? It's a difference. You feel me?
Yeah,
It's
Right.
you
a
can't go
Okay.
to
huge
So
difference.
Antarctica. You
I
can't
can't
go.
just fly in there at my own leisure on my private plane because I feel like taking a trip away for
yeah,
14,
you can't do
15
that
freaking days.
anywhere. You can't fly anywhere. Just do whatever. There's itinerary
Oh, yes, you
Yes,
can.
the
worldwide.
Oh,
fuck you
yes, you
can.
can.
Yes, you
Yes, the
can.
Oh,
fuck you
okay. So
can.
if I want to
Okay,
if I want
yes,
to
you
fly to
definitely
Miami,
can.
and if I want to fly to Miami in the middle of Miami, build a nuclear weapon center, I can do that.
bro.
Let's
Who's
listen
talking
to
about
the type of
biblical
shit this
Wait a
nigga
weaponry?
be
minute.
talking about.
There's
See
an
now
That's
you're
how he
itinerary
see now
for
you're
that's how
moving the
he
everywhere.
is.
goalpost. You're
Nigga,
moving the
bro, this nigga be
goalpost.
No,
Don't
deviating
we.
the
move the
conversation.
Hey,
goalpost
hey,
because that
real
wasn't
quick,
the question.
you got
That
it.
was
Cause
not the
let,
question.
let me
Don't move
tell.
the goalpost.
Hey, ain't this was moving the go? What was the? What is the secret that they withholding? Is my question.
Okay, and see, this is what I said. We already spoke about this. You weren't here. I'm not going to rehash for everyone in the
Is
room.
there
No,
a
But
simple
rehash
wait a
because
answer?
minute,
it
pause.
ties
Wait a
into
minute,
the
pause.
moon
Wait a
and
minute,
NASA.
pause. Because I gave
Rehash
you
it.
the resources and names in which to do your own research. Because I don't
Okay,
go
is
to,
is
I don't do
okay?
this
Real
many
quick,
often.
is that's fine. Is there anybody else? Fine. Is there anybody else who can give me a simple
Yes,
answer
yes, I have
as to
the
what?
answer as
Okay,
you
somebody give
saying.
me a simple answer as to what NASA is
Yes.
withholding from the people. The
Okay.
Clip
What?
Notes version.
Okay, the ice wall is what she said. She said it in her speech. The ice wall.
They're the secret that they hiding is the ice wall. Okay.
And they're
Free
hiding,
Which
energy,
but
Not
which
readily
just that.
ties
It's
available.
into the
also
flat
wait
Y'all
a
know
wait a
earth
minute.
about the
It's
theory.
ice
also
wall
wait a
and
minute.
they hiding the
It's
ice
not
I
wall.
was about to
just
say
the
the ice
ice
wall
wall.
itself.
It's the memoirs in which the description of what Admiral Byrd and other explorers and expeditions had said along these excursions out here.
What's
Okay,
the okay? So
they
what's the simple secret?
from
Give me a
what
simple
they
secret.
said, they fell upon the actual Garden of Eden. In other words. So when you have all these treaties being put in place, when you have citizens being jailed for going off of their trail whenever they are on itinerary, and for those who wanted to know, you do get locked up. You do get locked up. They will deport your ass quicker than a fucking Swiftler. Okay. At the end of the day, we have to understand why certain laws are in place. I'm a global citizen. If I'm restricted, that means that there's a secret somewhere.
Okay, I
Believe it or
got you.
not,
So
Yo, can I add to that
so
shit real
you
quick?
So
My
the
bad, my bad.
yeah,
military
you
is
got it. You got it.
occupying
Whoever
the
want to
Garden
interject,
of
go ahead.
Eden that
Yeah,
they
I got it.
supposedly
Yo,
promoting.
listen. This is the implications. Free energy, right? And since even though I didn't bring up the dome earlier, let me humor the idea now. And this is why there's a preponderance of evidence for there being a dome, right? There's something free energy, right? And this is something that's not theoretical, right? This is something that you could look up Richard Feynman's treatises on physics, and he talks about this electrostatic potential gradient that exists in our atmosphere at the rate of 100 volts per meter. Meaning, I'm 2 feet tall. It's about two. I'm two. Sorry, I'm 2 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. That's about 2 meters, right? So at my waist, there's about 100 volts of energy that I can just pull right out of the atmosphere. At my head top, 200. All the way. This has been measured all the way up to like 93 million. No, sorry, not 93. 90 million volts or something like that, right? Up in the atmosphere. That's the highest anyone's been able to actually map this electrostatic potential gradient, right? And the Earth has a positive charge. It's incoherent, but it's positive. Here's evidence that there is a Gaussian, that we are between two Gaussian surfaces, right? Because if it wasn't two Gaussian surfaces, if it was just the Earth itself having one charge, then the electric gradient would be different moving forward, like moving away from it. It wouldn't be constant. The reason it's constant is because when you know about electrostatics, when you're between two Gaussian surfaces, meaning the Earth would be one, and then whatever is enclosing it and enclosing the charge and the energy therein, that's the reason that it happens in an equipotential sort of a way.
Hey, yo, this is I just finished looking at this video that's up in the Jumbotron. Yo, listen, man, what's going on, man? Why are people misrepresenting the truth? This he
I
is
mean,
not.
he's
Hold on,
listen.
Cherry,
That's the
Cherry,
that's the
Cherry,
first man that was
Cherry,
supposed to be on the
Cherry.
moon, right?
He just started talking. It was 13 seconds.
Listen, I just finished looking at it, right? And the question the little girl asked him was, why hasn't anyone been back to the moon? And he said, because we did. He said we didn't to the question of why hasn't anyone been back? He said, because we didn't. He didn't go back. Like, didn't say never went. He said he didn't go back. That what the represent
I'd
yo,
like to reinstate the many
hold on.
interviews he's had
Hold
before this
on, hold on. Can
one
I
that went
please listen?
live and
One thing,
were,
hold
you
on a
know.
second. Hold on a second. One thing I am not, and that is long winded on any stage that I'm on. I'm very well informed and I'm very well with my lexicon that I can make my point and listen, right? And I'm just saying that
What up?
when people bring information about things, right, the context is very important. If it's hard for you to understand a thing and that you just take the first surface level thing that you hear, right, which is very dangerous to live by what you hear. If you haven't analyzed it for its integrity and scrutiny, it was misrepresented because the it does not say that we didn't. It doesn't say that Buzz Aldrin says we didn't go to the moon. That is not what it is implying.
That's
And I'm
literally
done
the
speaking.
caption.
Okay, so I'm gonna play the video so everyone can have
Oh yeah,
context of
oh
what
yeah,
we're talking
Thug, you just
about.
misrepresented the video
Here we go.
yourself,
One
family.
second.
Yeah,
No
come
cap.
on,
I
bro.
just
Here we
listened
go.
to it.
Can't
Are you
even
ready?
read.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? There you go.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time? That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. But I think I know. Because we didn't.
We put it on the loop at the end, but yeah.
Okay, so before everybody
Exactly.
gets triggered,
Why are you coming up in here crossing lines?
and this is what the,
Nobody's
the
triggered but you, Thug.
okay, no, I'm just saying, right? Before everybody gets triggered, what I heard, the little girl asked the question. The question was, why haven't we been back to the moon in such a long
Sir,
time?
we just heard all of that. We clearly
Right?
heard it from both of their
Okay, so
mouths,
so
and
you're
you
not
didn't
gonna
say
let me
anything that
so
they
you're
said.
not gonna let
Well,
me
let him
Hey,
make
finish.
his
hey,
point.
Sherry.
So you're not
Sherry.
gonna let me
Let.
finish.
Hey, hold on, y'all. I've been listening. I haven't been saying shit. Let him finish, please, Sherry. You've been talking a lot, sweetheart. Give him a chance. I haven't heard his voice in a minute, so let him finish.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, she been talking a lot.
So
You
the point that
married?
the point, it's not crazy, it's truthful. So the point that I'm making is that
I want to
the
talk about you, sir.
okay, to continue